Okay, so let's say you've got a situation maybe with a neighbor or something which is very difficult, and uh, maybe the neighbor is making a lot of noise, and you can't take a break from the noise, and you have to sort of stay at home, which is might be driving you potty while they're making lots of noise nonstop. So what do? You can't just have the luxury of going away on a spiritual retreat in silence and doing a lot of spiritual work or forgiveness work or whatever to sort of clear it. You're just being constantly bombarded. Well, for me, it's these things are I call them karmic setups. And sometimes there's less capacity. Sometimes one doesn't have the luxury of going away or having space to clear the energies in the unforgiveness, the fear, the anger, the resentment in oneself, and one is continually under pressure, like a pressure cook environment with no mercy. Um, yes, that does happen, and that's I would say that that's karmically ordained because that situation was inflicted on another in this lifetime or another, and so there's no easy escape. But I would just say in those situations, pray for a miracle, pray to the Holy Spirit to guide you in what options you've got, or how to see it differently, or what guidance can come on board to tackle the situation and see what guidance comes. I always think like when I call it when the shit hits the fan and you can't escape and you're up against a tight spot. Um, it becomes usually simple for me. It's like you just pray non-stop, like your ass is on fire, and pray for a miracle. I mean, there isn't anything else. You've got a knife to your throat, and there's nowhere else to run, and you've got constant pressure. So you just keep praying like at 100 miles an hour, and I found that actually works. When you're under extreme pressure, just praying at 100 miles an hour non-stop, even if you don't get any sleep, a miracle eventually happens. It's like the angels eventually pull you out. That has actually been my experience. Otherwise, just constant forgiveness work. I usually find when I'm under extreme pressure, the observer is more difficult to do, and even feel the feelings can be more difficult to do. But praying like a lunatic, praying for a miracle, praying the Lord's Prayer, praying for forgiveness for myself or others, or just praying to God for help and intervention, or to the Holy Spirit for a miracle to see differently. I can do that at 100 miles an hour, even under extreme pain and agony or lack of sleep. So that's my mechanism. And sometimes I had to do it for hours before the miracle happens, but that's what I usually do if it's thing. But generally, okay, let's say it's a noisy neighbor and they're unrelenting in the noise and it's like building up and haven't got any peace to try and clear the energy. I would, well, in those situations, I might explore things like earplugs, if I can, earplugs, earmuffs. I would probably see if I can walk in the park for a while and do some prayer there. Or otherwise, if none of those options are available and it's like a non-stop onslaught of noise night and day, then I would probably just do intense prayer non-stop. And I would do prayers like I probably would intuit the anti-karma prayer. I pray for forgiveness for the one in me who was incessantly noisy night and day to the extreme distress of others um, in this lifetime and others, because it's like it's horrific, it's unrelenting. And probably I inflicted unrelenting noise and suffering without end to some other poor human being. So I'd intuit the anti-karma, probably just the simple Course in Miracles. God is in love which I forgive my neighbor. God is a love in which I forgive myself. God is a love in which I forgive my neighbor. God is a love in which I forgive myself. I'd probably do that one. Or you could do other ones if whatever calls to you. I pray for Holy Spirit. I pray for a miracle to see this situation differently. Please help me to see this situation differently. I mean, if you're in a better place, you could do the observer on noise. What's observing noise? Is the observer of noise experiencing noise? So when you're in a good place, you can do the observer on noise, and you realize that the observer of noise doesn't register noise and is actually in silence. So you disappear the noise out. So that's miraculous when you're able to do that. So there's a feel the feelings. Feel the feelings I'd find harder with unrelenting, but you can try feel the feelings. So you just detach from the thoughts and the story. Try and detach from the noise. You're not subject to noise or cancel belief in noise. You're an infinite being. The infinite is doesn't hear noise. So I cancel my belief I'm being affected by noise. I'm an infinite being. Infinite in like Hawkins said, you're the water, you're not the fish. The fish are affected by noise, but the water is not affected by noise. So you just cancel it. So maybe you could try that. I cancel my belief in noise. I'm an infinite being, not subject to noise. The infinite is not actually not subject. Once you're in the infinite silence, that doesn't isn't affected by noise, but your ego is, your thoughts are, and your belief systems are affected by noise. So that is a thing. So that's what I would do. But I actually wouldn't speak to the neighbor until there's forgiveness. So I just wouldn't bother speaking to them. I'd try and clear it through prayer, or if you're able to feel the feelings or the observer, do that. Or if you're able to get away, maybe the Holy Spirit can give you a practical thing, like, you go on Amazon and you find these earplugs which have got 5-star reviews, and you buy them for £1.50, and they block out all the noise, and it's the mercy of God. So anyway, anyone suffering, I pray for a miracle for anyone who's suffering out there, and I'll stop. Stop.